Good morning, Zio here, and today, I really don't know what I'm doing. That's nothing new, so let's get into it, shall we? And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so now. Smash the like button. Dislike it if you dislike it at the end of the video, of course. Give it a watch, give it a listen. Actually hear me out. I don't know. Something like that. Anyway, today we are talking about Sadowlands. A little bit of salt. It's not really so salty anymore. I mean, I was really dang salty when I first heard this, but at the same time, I also understand, right? So I've got this thing pulled up that we're going to read through, right? And then we're going to talk about it because that's what I do. And then I'll get to the salt because, everybody loves the salt, right? But Sadowlands has been delayed, and that's a good thing. Anyway, so an update on Sadowlands. I want to let you know that we are delaying the release of Sadowlands to later this year. And while we're still in the process of determining the right new date to launch, we felt it is important to let you know about this change in plans as soon as we could. This was an incredibly difficult decision for the team. I have not had enough coffee to read yet, and we know I can't read. I mean, heck, if you knew the schools I went to, I can barely count past 3. But anyway, a difficult decision for the team, as we are eager to get the expansion into your hands as you are to play it. Into your hands as you are to play it. Wait, did I read that right? We're as eager to get the expansion into your hands as you are to play. Okay, there we go. Wow. Anyway, but ultimately, we feel it's the right decision for the game and for our players. Over the past several months of testing, we've made significant progress in iterating on and polishing the core features of the gameplay of Sadowlands. We're at the point where the zones, the campaign, the level up quest experience, the story we have to tell are essentially ready to share. We're excited by the covenants at the heart of the expansion, and it's been a thrill to see Torghast take shape into a fun new kind of WoW experience, thanks in no small feat part to your input. However, as everything started coming together, we've been listening to you and building upon your feedback, and it's become clear we're a little more time for additional polish and to balance and iterate on some interlocking pieces, particularly those related to the in-game. Sadowlands is one of the most I can't read that word. Wow. Am I just not able to see it? Like, seriously. Interacting experiences or you know what? Forget it. I'm done. I can't read today. I've given up on life. Get some coffee, sit back, relax. Or a few minutes in and I'm just done. Anyway, October 13th will be pre-patch. I was thinking that pre-patch was going to be this past Tuesday. This should be coming out Monday, so it would have been Tuesday last week. That was my thoughts. It couldn't have been any later than then, mainly because, pre-patch usually runs for about 30 days. It's about 20 to 30 some days worth of pre-patch before an expansion comes out, so I'm going to gander, if they stick with that formula, about 28 to 30 days after October 13th, so, somewhere near the end of, or near the middle of maybe November or so is when we're going to actually get expansion. That's my guess right now, because let's see, it's October, November, right? That's how this thing works. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know my months either now. But yeah, so we'll probably see maybe the expansion in November at some point, and there's a lot of things to work on. You can go over and take a look at the forums. People have been talking about a lot of issues that are still in Sadowlands, and for the most part, a lot of people think that it feels more like we're still at the beginning of beta and not near the end of beta, because of some of the things that are going on. Torghast seems to be doing pretty decently at the moment. However, there's a lot of things with the in-game from, say, the mole, which seems to be, our in-game zone or whatnot, right? And that's kind of barren. A lot of people have said it's got a lot of work that still needs to go in. There's a lot of other issues with like conduits and covenants and things that people are still talking about. You've got different things that are still going on, and a friend of mine, of course, just recently got into the beta, and he's doing the level up experience at the moment, even though they said they're done with that. He's already reported, I think, 3 or 4 bugs, it was telling me, like, just yesterday, and he's only been playing it for about 3 or 4 hours at that point in time. So, that's almost practically 1 bug per hour, and they've been small bugs, to do with quests and things. Like, there was one quest he was telling me about how he was with Thrall, and Thrall was going, but then he would just stop and hunker down for some odd reason, holding his axe, and not move and not progress further, which is a significant bug in my opinion. And then there's been a few other things he's reported, like nodes being, spawning in the middle of a tree so you can't actually access it, or in a boulder or something where you can't actually access the node, which is something that actually still happens in Battle for Azeroth, which is now at the end of its lifespan, by the way. You'd think somebody would have fixed that by now. I've reported the same node I don't know how many times. Still not fixed. Anyway, but, there's a lot of things that are still needing to be done, and it's not really to be it's to be expected, I guess. We got hit with a massive pandemic in the middle of development. People have been working from home, so to be totally honest, it needed the thing. It needed the extra bit of time, I guess you can say, the extra month or so that it's going to get. They are determined to get it out before the end of December, of course, because this is going to be part of their quarterly numbers that they want to look good, and they've got to do it before the end of the quarter. So we'll definitely get it, hopefully, before the holidays. We've got major holidays coming up. We've got Halloween coming down, followed by, of course, the Thanksgiving thing here in the States. And then we have Christmas after that. So, a lot of people are going to be on holiday and stuff. Of course, the salt. Wow. There's a lot of people salty about the move of the expansion, and I, too, was one of them. I understood why we were... backing it up, pushing it out a little bit, but I was still a bit salty because I did the same thing a lot of other people did. I put in for vacation for that week, right? So I can be a little salty when I find out that the reason I put my vacation in is no longer going to release that week. But, I'm not so salty now because I was able to reclaim my vacation time. There was enough time in there, and my work was kind of happy about that, because we did just kind of recently lose a guy, and that meant they were going to have to. We're already trying to hire somebody else to cover him. Having bad luck at that, of course. But at the same time, they would have to find somebody to cover for me for that 1 week near the end of October. They didn't want to do that to begin with, but, they don't have to now. So I was a bit salty, but I did reclaim it. But I know there's plenty of other people where that's not an option. Depending on where you work, how your schedules work and stuff. Some people probably had this, vacation scheduled the second the release date came out because they needed to, and now they can't get it back, or they can't change it, or there's not going to be enough time if they did take it back to be able to submit another week of vacation later down the road when they do actually release a date, which at this time of recording has not happened yet. It might happen today, it might happen tomorrow when they go, okay, here's our definite date now, we've moved it to here. But, as of right now, it's not a thing. But yeah, Shadowlands needs work. To be honest, this is probably a good thing. Which is another interesting story real quick. We were talking about this about a couple of hours about the time this post actually had dropped, and none of us has seen it yet, talking about how, was expecting pre-patch to launch yesterday. It didn't launch. There was no pre-patch. What's going on? They're cutting it super close. Are we getting like 1 week of pre-patch? Is that what we're doing here? And, then we about an hour or so later, somebody sent me the thing. It was like, oh, by the way, remember what we were talking about? Yeah, they've pushed it back now. So, it's good that they're doing that, because it does need time. I was going to actually do a video for today talking about how, I feel that Activision is making a mistake for not pushing back Shadowlands, because at the time that's what we were talking about, because it's Activision for one, and they have a track record, but thinking about it after the information was out, it's like, well, as long as they do it within before the end of the quarter, they'll still make the quarterly earnings that they're looking for, right? They'll get the metrics that they want. They'll have the surge in player and go, hey, look, World of Warcraft is doing fantastic over here at Blizzard. We had an increase in subscriptions by whatever million that it happens to be, or whatever, 2.3 million or something like that over the month of November. How awesome is that? We're doing freaking great. It's December. We still got them. We're retaining people, that sort of thing. So it makes their numbers look good, as long as they do it before the end of the quarter, of course. So the shareholders will, breathe a sigh of relief and continue to fund things and stuff and make them happy. Meanwhile, they'll still push things on us to pay extra and all this other stuff. Anyway, that's a whole thing for another thing. Shadowlands was delayed. Pre-patch is coming next week, I believe. And yeah, that's about it. I was a bit salty. Now I'm not. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll talk to you later. See you, nerds.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.